You guys have heard me complain about this for too long. So today we're gonna try to do a little bit of fixing, and we're gonna play forehand only with the whole bag versus my new favorite disc that I have in the bag, the Fission Watts. Kind of any watt. I got this during the MVP circuit challenge. Every single hole, 18 holes at Owl's Den, because I'm starting something new. Silly Saturdays. Sometimes I take myself way too seriously, especially filming these videos. Lots of talking, lots of thinking. If you guys want to see anything during Silly Saturdays, which hopefully will be every Saturday, I might skip some because we're having a baby in like 10 days. But I do have something that you guys can pick up to support that hopefully will be dropping the middle of next week. So hopefully baby doesn't come before that. But I want to learn this disc a little more since I really only threw it at the circuit challenge. And I don't play with my bag too much, which is another reason for Silly Saturdays. But I did change a couple things in the bag. So I'm going to show you that and then we'll get on to hole number 1. And hopefully my whole forehand with a full bag can beat just a watt. But I kind of doubt it. I really think the Watt's gonna win, and that's gonna be really bad because this course is not it's not a super long course. But there are some longer holes that I probably shouldn't be able to get with this that I'm still gonna win. It's gonna be weird. That being said, we're switching out some discs. You guys know I've had this Firebird in the bag forever. I love this Firebird so much. It's gotten a little flippy, but I think that means it's time to move on to something I can replace because I can't replace this. And we have some new C-Blend Scepters, which tend to be just about as understable as that. Maybe a little more overstable. They feel slightly different, but I'm pretty sure it's the Firebird mold. So we're gonna put the blue one in the bag. It's Silly Saturdays. We got to put a Rollo in the bag, and we will forehand this once. I actually have a hole on the back 9. I think it's like hole 14 that I think will actually work pretty well for this. If I birdie with this today, I think I'm just going to be a forehand only player from now on. We had this cap wrap in the bag. It's cool, but it's kind of boring color. I don't know why. So we're throwing in this nice, vibrant red guy. And now that we don't have a red Firebird, golden, and then ultra. Why not? I need a forehandable mid. And then this is MD4, but it's my buddies who's out on the course we're going to see today. And I think Evan, who wrecked me at this tournament, is gonna bring me some more of these Fission Watts because I left and I was like, shoot, I should have bought more. Can you see if I can buy some from the guy? And so he picks them up. So I think we'll be making a little bit of an exchange later. That being said, I think I should have wiped the stamp. I really wanted to wipe the stamp and I forgot. But Fission Watt, I think you can only get these at the circuit challenge for now. I don't have any neutrons, so if you guys think those are better for me, let me know in the comments. And let me know any more Silly Saturday stuff you want to see done. Let's learn how to throw a forehand. Now, finally. Hole 1, 318, straight ahead. Got a head right to left. We're, I think, just a straight shot. It's Silly Saturdays, so warm-ups aren't a thing, I guess. They still should be. I should probably. Oh, it's so good. Sit down. That's putting from the circle long. Wow, just such a laser beam. I'm hoping that during this round, I don't find that it's too glidey for me. Like, I should be able to have touch to throw it where I want to. With my backhand, one of the things I've really have to work on. I have not worked on it, so I can't lie and say that. But I a little overextend here to compensate for my lower body. And so I just need to work a little bit on my mechanics, but I have been doing none of that because I'm not competing anytime soon with the baby coming and making videos. That being said, I really want to work on my forehand because it's been so trash, so that's a lot of what today's round is. So I think we're going to throw this scepter. Throw it against the wind. One of the things I noticed that I've been doing in my forehand is I'm a little forward, but I kind of stay up, and then I don't really coil. Like, I don't coil backwards. Like, maybe a little bit with my arm, but if my arm just goes backwards and my torso doesn't, then this is just kind of separating from my shoulder, and I have to put it back in my shoulder and then throw through it instead of coiling with everything and then throwing it. I don't know if that's gonna be right. We're gonna figure out a lot today on the forehand, and hopefully we can shoot a decent bit under par. Scepter first. Why am I the way that I am? Two off the top for the forehand. Gotta give it a fighting chance. Cap wrap, that one. So maybe with that, I coiled, but I still separated. That would make sense actually, because if I coiled and still separated, then to come back through, everything's coming, and this is separate, and so I really release it. Certainly a thought. Let's try coil and not separate the shoulder. And I think to do that, a part of it is I'm starting here in this position, and I almost want to start here. If you guys notice, this is the power pocket, like a deep pocket for a backhand. It's because if you like put your arm up, your like shoulder doesn't like kind of staying here. The scapular plane is kind of right here. And so for a forehand, if I'm gonna be throwing, get into a comfortable position there, make sure that everything is stabilized with the bicep, give it a good tilt, coil back, but don't separate the shoulder like I tend to do. So coil with it and throw forward. Is that right? I don't know. We'll find out today. And it's probably not. Listen to people who have good forehands. This is just me trying to figure it out. Why is that so bad? I think I'm too tight. Am I just like too tense and tight? Try to be a little looser with it. Okay. Be looser. I did everything else that I said, but I was looser. Those are so much better. Well, we got a long putt to make with the first forehand. I like everything I said, but if you hold it rigidly there, it's gonna be bad. Good to know. This is definitely something that it would probably be pretty beneficial to just like go to a field and drill out or into a net. But I have so much more fun doing this. And right now my focus isn't on getting better, it's on making a lot of really fun content. So I figure we split the difference. Probably a less than ideal venue to work on these things, but a much more fun video. And I really want to learn how to throw the water. And I'd much rather do that on the course. So I still stand by like fixing your stuff in the field. But if you really hate field work or you don't have a lot of time, just come do some fun stuff at the course. Playing the first scepter, I cannot believe how bad this captain's raptor was. Thinking about it a little more, I think I was a little extended through my rib cage instead of crunched over, because this doesn't create any space, and in order for my shoulder to go, it is like coming, my shoulder blade is coming like up and over the rib cage instead of forward where the disc wants to go. And because of that, in order to release somewhat straight, if it's coming up and over, I have to early release it. I think. Who knows if that's right? Feels right, could be wrong. We can still make a putt though, make up for it. So I gave the forehand 2 off the top, and the Watts still might take an early lead. I am glad I threw those Romans though, and it might be worth it to not throw these overstable ones as much today and really focus on my straighter discs, because that first one is parked, second one's a little long and I turned it a little much, because you also saw these were better shots, but had a lot of wobble. So I almost wonder, a lot of times things start from your torso, then work into your shoulder, and then to your wrist. So the problem likely isn't, oh, I'm not getting enough, like I don't have a snappy enough wrist. The problem is likely something that is not stable in my torso, which is causing me to have to compensate somewhere here. So we'll try to get that wobble gone today, and we'll probably focus on throwing straighter discs, because it'll make throwing these better at the end. Perfect pace for the Watt, let's go. Okay, hole 2, T-signs went in, and I don't know why people never use rangefinders for T-signs sometimes. I guess never is a little exaggerating. I don't understand how T-signs can go in that are newer and like just not have been range found, because UDIS says 344, but that's wrong. So 375 should be okay with the Watt. We do have a little tail right to left, so kind of flat through the gap, and hope I can drift it. No! It's off perfect pace, we gotta throw that in. That was pretty bad. Then we're gonna try my Ibland Emperor through the main gap on a touch of Anheuser. Let it ride the wind, and then it does have those trees that kind of guard. If we skip in front of them, great. I think we can give ourselves a birdie look here. Loose wrist, loose bottom half of the arm. Needs to stay stable. Coil. Nope, that's exactly what I do wrong. What I just did there is I came up like this. I need to come through like this. Stay through it. I'm really bad this hip, the external rotators. They don't like being used well, so need to step and kind of brace against the front hip. That way everything stays over it instead of extending through my low back. Okay, we got this. I mostly did what I wanted. We'll try the double G Emperor. I like staying lower on that. I think a little slower, my lower body, a little more methodical. Still wobbly. Okay, I'm liking these forehands though. Okay, those are much, much better. Watt's gonna have some competition if I can keep figuring out at this pace. That wobble though, it's gotta go. It's like not the end of the world because it still gets down there, but I want a pretty forehand, and pretty forehands don't have wobble. Smart plays the hyzer. It's the fun play for Silly Saturdays. It's right up the middle. Buckets, oh, short. Weak sauce. There we go. Dang it. Much better shot with the forehand there, but couldn't convert. Watt stays winning, 1-0. So just watch under his armpit, kind of.
Kind of point shoot type thing. So let's
do one more.
Shots like this. So let's.
So essentially you see like when he throws, underneath his armpit kind of comes forward. You got a bunch of muscles in your armpit. Crazy, I know. But one of them is like your wrapping muscle, your serratus. And I think as long as I can keep my arm in my shoulder and like finish forward through the disc, that might help with more driven shots, more good spin. And then keeping lower in my lower body might help with some angle control instead of just throwing everything through my lower back and then early releasing. So I'm gonna mess around with it for a couple holes instead of just like trying something one time and being like, this worked, this didn't work. We might talk some more about form stuff, or we might just keep it chill. Watt has the box right to left, so not the best wind. Oh baby, that disc is so good. I was really worried it was gonna start burning over, and it just doesn't. It just holds. Zone, finish forward. If that means I have to fall over my brace, I don't care. Stay low, finish forward. That's my goal. So much cleaner spin. Not the best shot. That was a pretty good example there. Here's the ultra. So I think I finished forward, not because of how I threw it, but because I threw and then I went forward. Try to throw it forward. Okay, a lot to work on. No. 1-1. We're going one shot from here on out. I have to force myself to it because my elbow, it like doesn't feel any pain at all. It's just used in new ways because I haven't been throwing forehands much. So for instance, the long head of my tricep, right where that one inserts, it's just, I'm feeling a little as I'm pushing the disc out at the end. And maybe that means I need to stay a little looser in my follow through, go more through my chest to roll it over. But we're just gonna throw one shot here and out, try to figure some stuff out, see any takeaways we have, but mostly see if we can beat the watt. So far, it's going better than I expected. By straight, I mean hyzer. Jeez, that is just a laser. Good to know that with the watt, I can trust it even on a little more Anheuser against the wind, because that was a right to left cross. And I thought it would beat it down too much, but it stayed on Anheuser, it just went straight. This one, actually really good distance for what I thought was a pretty bad shot, so good to know it's in there. I've just noticed I've been talking with my trainer, with my backhand form and obviously my forehand. I feel like the power that I've been generating in the gym and the ways that I've been able to move my body are getting to the point where now I'm throwing as hard as I can with my current form, and my distance isn't going up too much because my form isn't good enough to facilitate the extra power that I can generate. And so it's been funny, I've been throwing the same like length of shot, which is pretty good. Backhand, between 460 and 490 consistently, probably touching 500 sometimes if I just haven't really gone with this that I know to throw a lot of distance lines. The big problem is my form, I don't think is good enough to transmit more power. So at the beginning I was like, man, I'm throwing 90%, and now I only feel like I'm throwing 80 or 75%, but if I try to throw any more, I'm just gonna like throw really bad shots that just get turfed because my form isn't good enough. So as we fix this forehand and backhand, I'm hoping there's a lot of distance in the tank that I've already created. Now I just have to figure out how to transmit it into a disc. I hope that makes sense. I like silly Saturdays. I get to ramble about whatever I want, and you can complain, but I'm not listening. I was gonna say no one can complain, but I guess that's not true. This is for sure one of the tougher holes. We do have that same wind that's pushing this way right now. So a lot of people, if they have really good forehands, will take this upper forehand route, which eventually I would love to be able to do. Right now, I can't transmit any power through my forehand, it feels like. So I think we're gonna try the flexi forehand around this tree. It's 375, and with the wind, I'm kind of between my I-blend and my double G Emperor. I'm a little worried that if I try to put on too much Anheuser, I'm gonna mistakenly really leave it out wide and hit this first tree. So we're gonna try the I-blend guy. Oh, what was that? I mean, it was a little bit of an inside shot. Overall, though, I was pretty happy with that until I hit that tree. I like the shape that it was on. Wow, this wind sucks. Okay. Still a little bit in front of my forehand. I notice when Broderick throws, and he's also really phenomenal at forehands, he sometimes like stays in himself here, where it's kind of like the backhand, where I could stay behind the backhand and the backhand be thrown. Same thing with the forehand. I cannot do that right now. Oh wait, I just said one shot, and I threw two. What a faker. Pretty bad lie for a tiny guy right here, especially since I have to throw a forehand. It's a very small gap there. You know what this is perfect for? Roll low. Uh-oh. That was almost really good. Just too much hyzer on the release. I need my arm to be in my shoulder, and it was a little bit outside of it. Tough. Oh, we got a putt. Whoa, juicy, holy. Well, in between those two. There's an opening back here. Did not judge that distance very well through the tree though. Par, bogey. That was a rough lie for that drive. buckets. That thing's so good. We'll try the cap wrap here. Good flex. Well, too much maybe. Oh, that's putting from the circle. Ah, dang it. A little too much. I wanted the straight ace. This might be a good one just for a force over zone. Oh, a little short. That was nice though. One of the other reasons why this isn't like the best form of practice, but I don't think it's necessarily bad, is I'm just giving myself all sorts of cues and seeing what sticks. And as I have throws that feel better, I'm trying to dial in those cues. So I'm actually working on a new one that I'll tell you in a couple holes if I continue to think that it's working well. Because I noticed I was potentially leaking power and accuracy, and I tried to supplement it and fix it. And this also skipped backwards instead of forwards when it hit this log. It's definitely not ideal. You should just stick to one thing and iron it out. But sometimes, especially if you're just doing trial and error for yourself, having fun on the course, you have to find what that one thing is first and then iron it out. Oh. A little right. It won't fade in the tailwind. It'll just drop. 283, straight headwind. Watt still has the box. Maybe head right to left, but probably got to throw it pretty close to right at it. Get there. It's in the circle. I'm pretty happy with that. So one of the things I'm working on with this forehand right now is the lead shoulder. I think sometimes, because obviously your shoulders are connected, I separate this shoulder too early instead of keeping it closed until I start to throw and then separating to help propel the disc forward, if I even separate at all. And I probably don't need to for now, because if anything, it's probably hurting me rather than helping. I've really focused the last couple times on kind of keeping the shoulder closed a little bit better, and then just rotating as one unit instead of opening my chest early. Because then what does that do again? One, ribs are a little flared, where my obliques are not very strong right now, and so I need to train those to, instead of side bending through my lat and my back, side bending through my obliques, so it's on the front side, so I can stay over it, staying coiled, and staying through the throw, and then throwing out. So I feel like I have a lot of knowledge, and then translating it to my actual throws is pretty difficult, but trial and error is kind of how I'm feeling like I'm gonna get there. And luckily I have a pretty long time horizon. We're gonna try the scepter again on a little forehand, kind of aim it at the tree and hope that it gets a little stable. Dang. So that throw was clean, I just really missed my line. Dropping my shoulder, that's what it is as well. There's so many things. Keep the shoulder up. There you go, ding dong. I would come through, drop the shoulder, kind of get into this like lat side bend instead of staying strong through my core and stable and throwing. Oh, there's a spider on the bag. So much to learn, so much to do. That's why this video is just all buckshot of all my forehand thoughts in one. And then hopefully within about 6 months, I'll have a good forehand. After lots more working on it. And then I can tell you the cues that I used to get into these positions that I'm talking about. Hopefully. The one good thing about today is I feel like my smooth distances have been pretty good. I've just not been able to put line, height, speed, spin all together at the same time. Eesh. And I also know Gavin Babcock has a really solid video on forehand. I haven't watched it, but a lot of people have, and have said really good things about it. Also, that last one where I kept my shoulders up, it's pretty parked. It's about as close as this one on the other side. I first like to go through kind of all the thoughts that I've been having, figure that out, see if my own cueing works well enough, and then kind of look for external help and critique. So having thought all these thoughts on these front 8 holes, this back 9, I'm just gonna really try to stay loose with it. Think about one thing every throw and see if we can't, maybe it's probably still gonna wobble. We're probably still not gonna do everything right. But the goal of these last 10 holes is to play disc golf with this forehand, not overthinking it. I could have one swing thought. Ideally 0 swing thoughts, but for now, I need something because I'll mess everything up if I'm just throw the way that I have been throwing. Watt has the box, then we're gonna throw the Ultra. And I think we're just gonna try to keep it flat. And so my swing thought is gonna be shoulders together. Shoulders together actually I think works for 2 things that we've talked about. 1, keeping them together and not separating early, and 2, keeping this shoulder up. Because if my shoulders aren't together, this one can drop and hike this one up, which will put strain right here on your elevator and your trap, which I feel. So keep the shoulders together, and that might help my core to engage better. I don't know, I have to figure it out. Keep drifting. Oh no, I threw it too high to get stable. That's a long putt. Alrighty, Ultra. Shoulders together. Bad angle, but spin and speed were good. Personally, I think the old adage, you have to get worse to get better, is like super overdone and not quite true. I would say it's probably more true to say you may have to get worse before you get better, because sometimes you just get better, and like, don't feel bad about that. Sometimes you come out here and you just don't know what's going on while you're working on things. And I think especially if you're a player who relies on feel, like, you know, in your rangefinders, you just like going out and playing and you're intentionally working on something, it's likely you're gonna throw shots. They're like, how did I throw it that bad? And it's because you're focusing on one thing and forgetting something else. And if you're not thinking about anything, sometimes your body will know what to do. But if you want to kind of get from your plateau where you're at now to the next level, you might have to think about those things that will eventually become second nature and be integrated better. And so like missing this angle with this disc, I'm like, how the heck did I do that? But I got really good speed and I got really good spin and I felt like I threw a pretty congruent shot. I just missed the angle, and that's okay. Not everything's gonna come together while you're working on it, especially if you're on the course, which is why doing it in the field can be better, less expectation of a result, because now I'm putting and trying to score and have fun and shoot a video, but ideally, field's a little better. I really thought I threw it hard enough to get through them all. I really like putting low. It's kind of my favorite thing, see? It's the best. On to the back nine. These holes are gonna get fun, and I cannot wait to throw that Rolo off the tee on my forehand. I guess that'll be the true test of if I got good at forehand or not, if I can get a birdie with a Rolo. Slippy tee pad. Good thing the wad is awesome. Oh my gosh, it's like elevatoring down. Oh, that's so short. Oh my gosh, the wind just stopped that dead. Since I'm trying to throw harder, I'm gonna think this time, my thought is like, sit in the hips. Not through the toes, but sit in the hips. Come out of it, please, 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 please. It started to a little bit, and I like that line. Sitting in the hips, it feels good. It feels like a control line rather than like getting all crazy, because I'm staying low. I like making these videos and also like watching these videos from other people on a bunch of topics, just of like their own thought process working through things, but I am not the expert. So take what you can from my process, but also take what you can from people who are experts at this, which is obviously not me. Oh, that's way too outside or inside. That would have been good if it was that way. But we have a long look at it. Thanks to UDisc new feature that just like is on your phone and tells you how far it is. It's saying I'm about 300 feet away from the basket. So I think we're gonna try the Sphinx. I don't even know what I'm thinking on this shot. I think actually what I'm thinking on this shot is kind of shoulders staying together. Because if my front shoulder leaves early, this could get skied and go left. So shoulders together. Oh, come on. Oh, come on. Oh, come on. Where'd it come down? I think that might be putting in the circle. Well, I guess we still like putting low. Kind of like that. I think, try the scepter. Shoulders together, that's the main cue here. Okay, I cannot be mad about that. That is so good. That was the best one, I think, where I kept my shoulders together both ways. So as I swung through, instead of still leaking early, I was able to get that like forward push without thinking about it because I kept my shoulders together. Coiled, uncoiled. This is the type of spread you like to see. What should I put on this disc after I wipe it? Well, 12's gonna be interesting. 720 foot par 4. And typically I'm just trying to throw a big way over the top shot, maybe throw something out wide. Just 2 backhand hyzers or over the top shots. But here, I don't even know if I can get a birdie. Oh, I missed my line. Get through somehow. I got to my landing zone. I just meant to throw flat to turn and pulled it a little. Wow. That's literally the gap I was going for. I was just going for it a little lower. This cue's working for me. It makes a lot of sense. If you don't separate your shoulders like for no reason, they keep them together, and then you rotate them, it's gonna be faster than if you go. Crazy thoughts. Wow, I'm so happy about that.
Hey, I wanted to quickly just come in here while I'm throwing these up shots and making the putts. Obviously, of course, we're making the putts. But I wanted to just say that I know this is maybe a little bit counter to some of the conventional understanding of forehand throwing for distance. And this is what I need to do right now to get my body back in check so that later I can kind of get to the point where I can separate my shoulders in the right timing. So I feel like right now I'm having to regress to something that is potentially less powerful. Not the ideal forehand form, but something that will work better for me and that I can build off of, because it's much easier to start separating shoulders that are connected than connecting shoulders that are already separated. It's much harder to rein something in than it is to let something loose. So having good integrity with my form first and then growing that to a larger range of motion, I think makes more sense and is what I'm trying to do here. So in case this goes counter to some other forehand wisdom, listen to whatever you want to listen to, but this is helping me to make sense of reining my forehand in to stop just sucking all the time.
Wow. Hole 14. 245, although I am nervous. We have a nice little backstop, so we'll try to give it ace run with the lot, but we only need 2 more birdies out of these next 5 to get this guy. Wait, is that 5 down? 2 more birdies to get 1,000 rated pace with just a watt out here. I really like the line. I was pulled a little bit outside though, so can't complain about the tree kick when I missed my line by a little bit. Rolo, flip up. Shoulders together, of course, important, but the biggest thing for me in this one is wrist loose. That's what I'm mostly thinking about. That was sweet. No. What was that putt, dude? Oh, that was so much more front to back movement instead of a weird little side shifty boy. The Rolo just took the box over the wall with a forehand. What does the world come to? Just like that. Just gonna be a little inside. Ah, not flippy enough. This shot is probably not possible with the watt. 346 feet straight down there. First gap, and then 2 more gaps to hit down the fairway because that middle tree is before the trees in the back. The forehand is also super tough. Oh, too high, Zuri. I was too scared. That would have aced the short position though. I keep thinking it's gonna be flippy and it's just straight. Go in. Oh! Oh, terrible bid. Forehand still has the box. I think here we go up this right side. It's 450 par 4. If we get to that tree down there, we are in business. But I think we need to throw mostly flat. A little turn is fine, a little hyzer is not. Throw it smooth. Oh my gosh. No, that was so good. Oh, it's working. It's not perfect, but that was one of the best forehands I've ever thrown in my life. Probably, I don't know. A little slip, I was scared I was gonna hit something, but that ends up fine. If we birdie with both of these, I think we shoot 1,000 rated forehand and 1,000 rated watt. Does that mean I can say I have 1,000 rated forehand? If I'm only 992 rated, my forehand is not gonna be better than my overall. Oh gosh, scratch that. That might have been the dumbest thing coming out of my mouth in a while. Typically the play is just a hyzer. It's 333 down the hill. There is a left to right, so I have to set a straight line. Why am I throwing a hyzer? That was bad. That was really bad. This is gonna be a tough shot with the watt. We gotta keep it pretty high. That was pretty high. Rated forehand, baby! That's one of the better putts I've made in a while. No chance we're missing that, baby! Man, this is a fun round. Thanks for enjoying Silly Saturdays with me. I'm about to get more watts. Hello, 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 hello. Silly Saturday. I'm playing with Evan. He got me more watts from the Circuit Challenge. He stayed behind. And I just threw a shot with Scepter on a forehand. And my forehand training might have paid off. Let's see. Oh!
Let's go.
Anything you want to say?
That's insane.
I turned around. I was like, it's a good shot. I didn't think it was this good. Put it in the bag today. Silly Saturdays for the win, and you parked it too, so Big dub. Silly Saturdays are now successful Saturdays, and now we're gonna sign it Saturdays. Very surprised the forehand beat the Watt, but bye.